Right, we're continuing with factorising. This time we're asked to factorise these quadratic expressions, and I know they're quadratics because the highest power on the variable there, on the letter, is a squared, x squared. And you'll notice that all of these have the same form. They have the x squared term, and then a term just with x, and then a number on the end, and we call that the constant term. So we're asked to factorise these, and we know that factorise means putting the brackets in. So if we look at the first one, the steps to follow are to always start with that number there. We can write our brackets down, and they're going to begin with an x because it's just 1x squared, so that's an easy start. Right, now the terms at the end, I know that when I multiply them together, they have to equal 15. So my starting point is to look at the factors of 15. What two numbers multiply together to give me 15? That's the starting point. So 3 and 5 would be great numbers to try, and of course 1 and 15 is usually my second option. Looking at the 3 and the 5, the next step is to go to your middle term and ask yourself how you could add or subtract a 3 and a 5 to equal 8. And clearly plus 3 plus 5 hopefully means I will have factorised, and we can always check. So just doing a quick check now, x squared plus 5x plus 3x plus 15, and I can see I've got the x squared term, I've got the 15, and you can see where the 8x comes in. It comes from adding the 5x plus the 3x gives me the 8x term in the middle. Right, let's try number 2. So step 1, of course, once we've identified that it's a quadratic with 3 terms in it, an x squared term, an x term, and a constant term, we start with our double brackets and an x in the front. Right, and then step 1 is to look at the number at the back, because I know that these two numbers have to multiply to equal 24. Now 24 has lots of factors, of course. 2 and 12, 6 and 4, 8 and 3, 1 and 24. So there's quite a few options to think about. Now the second step is to go back to the middle term and ask yourself, can I add or subtract these pairs of numbers to equal 10? Because it's the adding and subtracting in the middle that give you the 10x. Clearly it's not going to be 1 and 24. I can't use an 8 and a 3 to give me 10. There's two options here. I could do 12 minus 2 would give me 10. But you'll notice that both signs here are positive. The whole quadratic is positive. So I can't be introducing a negative into one of those brackets. And clearly 6 plus 4 is 10. So I'm going to need a plus 6 and a plus 4. Or you can have x plus 4 and x plus 6. It doesn't actually matter which bracket comes first out of the pair, as long as you have the plus 4 term and the plus 6 term. And just checking that we do in fact get that, x squared plus 6x plus 4x plus 24. And there's my 10x in the middle plus the 24. Right, let's erase that. We might have a go at one that has a negative in it, just to see what extra maths is going to be needed for that. So if we take one like number 4, identify first it's a quadratic, x squared term, x term, constant term, all in order, so I can start straight away with my brackets. Beginning with the x, we start with the back term, 15, factors of 15, 3 and 5, 1 and 15. Right, now I have to either add or subtract to make sure I get the minus 2 in the middle. Clearly I'm not going to be able to use the 1 and 15, and it's going to be the 3 and the 5. Now how to combine a 3 and a 5 to get the minus 2x. So what could happen, I could have minus 3x plus 5x. I could have plus 3x minus 5x in the middle. I could have minus 3x minus 5x. What we want to know is which pair would ensure that I get minus 2. Well, if we just combine the two terms, let's think about that. Minus 3 plus 5 would be positive 2x, negative 2x for that one, and minus 8x for that one. And it's this one that we want. So that means I'm going to need a plus 3, and I'm going to need a minus 5 in the brackets. And we'll just check. So that's a bit of a thinking process that needs to go on to make sure you get the right answer. X squared minus 5x plus 3x minus 15. Let's have a look at that. Negative 5 plus 3 is minus 2x minus 15. And I think you can see that that's exactly what we were looking for. Okay, and now one like number 5 is often tricky. They like to give you one like that with the 12 in it. This 12 has a lot of factors. So if we try and factorise number 5, I can see it's a quadratic with 3 terms, an x squared term, an x term, and a constant term on the end. So straight away I can start with my brackets. Factors of 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, 1 and 12. I need to add or subtract to get minus 1. 12 and 1 are never going to have a difference of 1. 2 and 6 cannot be combined, adding and subtracting to give me minus 1. So it's going to need a 3 and a 4 somehow in here. So I could have minus 3x plus 4x. I could have positive 3x minus 4x. We might even want to consider minus 3 minus 4x and think about that as well. This one here, minus 3 plus 4, will give me 1x. 3 take away 4 will give me minus 1. And this one will give me minus 7. This is the one I wanted. So I can see I'm going to need a plus 3 term, and I'm going to need a minus 4 term. And once again, if we check our answer by expanding it back, just quickly, x squared minus 4x plus 3x, positive and a negative is negative 12 when we multiply it back. And there I've got my minus 4 plus 3, which is minus 1x minus 12, which is exactly what I wanted. Now number 6 is a fairly challenging one as well. So if we have a go at number 6, we'll have a go up here. Looking at number 6, 3 terms, x squared term, x term, constant term, double bracket, quadratic. Right, factors of 56. Now there's quite a few possibly, and there'll be one like 2 and 28, but we'll have a go, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the 7 and 8 because I need to make sure, and I can know that I can combine a 7 and an 8 to give me plus 1. Let's think about how we might do that. Minus 7. Might not write the x down this time. We might just think about minus 7 plus 8. 7 and a minus 8. Minus 7 and minus 8. Those are 3 different combinations that involve negatives. Negative 7 plus 8 would be 1. 7 take away 8 is negative 1. Negative 7 minus 8 is minus 15. And this time we wanted the plus 1. So therefore I need the negative 7 and the plus 8. You can pause here and try expanding that back if you want to check that that's what you get. Right. One more. Let's try number 7. And then we will have tried one of each type. Let's clear a bit of space. Number 7. 3 terms, x squared, x, constant term, straight away, double bracket, quadratic, with an x in the front of each bracket. Right, once again the factors of 12, we know these now, 3 and 4, 2 and 6, 1 and 12. I want to be able to combine the two numbers to get minus 7. I think I can involve a 3 and a 4 to get minus 7. Now if it's obvious to you, that's great, but it's not always obvious to people how to combine a 3 and a 4 with some negative signs to get minus 7 when you add or subtract. This one will give me 1, minus 1, and minus 7. Clearly this is the combination I want. And this is an interesting one because we get the 2 negatives happening. And if we just remind ourselves about expanding this one, I'll get the x squared minus 4x minus 3x, and when I multiply together negative 3 times negative 4, I get plus 12, which is how we get the positive happening with the constant term. And once again there's my negative 7x. Now you need to persevere and practice with the rest of them.